these are the names of our proposed commissions. We have an Election Commission, the EC. We have an Electoral Enforcement Commission, EEC, and we have an Electoral Boundaries Commission, EBC. So in terms of the roles, the EC will retain its basic function as of now, which is to conduct elections. So this includes, conducting polling, the polling districts, the pusat mengundi, and so forth, tabulating the votes. They will also retain the function of voter registration, which will be automatic by this year, but they still have to automatize the process in terms of transferring the voters into the electoral roll. And maintenance of electoral roll will, of course, be continue to be a problem, because if you rely only on the National Registration Department, then electoral roll might be problematic. The EEC will be in charge of monitoring and enforcement of electoral laws, including regulating political parties. So during elections, it's more direct. The EEC will be in charge to ensure that the provisions in the Elections Act and also the Election Offences Act are being adhered to. So this includes things like vote buying, fairing of voters, violence, ballot fraud, and things like that. But outside of the election period, we also feel that this same body should be in charge of regulating political parties. So one of the things that we need before this is, of course, the Political Parties Act, which will talk about the political financing of political parties and how political parties should conduct themselves in terms of their registration process, the administrations, and so forth. But primarily is the funding and expenditure of political parties. The Electoral Boundaries Commission, the third commission, very specific, is to review and delimitate electoral boundaries when the need arises. In terms of structure, the Election Commission will maintain the same and existing structure. There will be a central body composing of the 7 commissioners and also the main secretariat, but there will also be state SPR officers throughout the country. So exactly like as now. As for the Electoral Enforcement Commission, we recommend a similar structure like the EC, which means they will have a central body and officers in each state as well. But they will also have enforcement officers for each constituency. And this is currently already inside Section 3 of the Elections Act. But under this current section, the enforcement officers are under the purview of the EC. So what we recommend is that when we have this Electoral Enforcement Commission, these enforcement officers will be restructured and report to the EEC instead. The Electoral Boundaries Commission will be an ad hoc body, so it's not going to be a permanent body because it will be established when the delimitation is triggered. So in the current case of Malaysia, it's once every 8 years, at least 8 years must have passed since the last delimitation procedure. And also, when there is, in terms of number of seat increases in the State Assembly or the Parliament. Composition, we have EC maintaining 7 members, and currently the only provision is that they enjoy public confidence, and there are some provisions that may disqualify their appointment as well. But for the EEC, we are recommending 3 of the members to be on an ex-official basis. So the IGP of the police, the Chief Commissioner MACC, and the Attorney General will automatically be part of this commission. And 4 other members with formal qualification and experience in law enforcement matters will be appointed, of which at least 2 will be representatives from civil society. And for the Electoral Boundaries Commission, again, we have a split between ex-official members and appointed members. So these are lessons that we have taken from the other countries, for example, Australia and New Zealand. So EBC will consist of a federal court judge, a member of the EC, member of the EEC, the Departments of Survey and Mapping Director General. So this will be Japan, a chief statistician, which is Dorsum, and 2 members with the formal qualification and relevant experience in election statistics or geography.